It's a Saturday night here in the Lowcountry, and we got ourselves a lot to talk about after a very eventful Friday night and Saturday, including two big wins today at the Cove. USCB men and women getting dubs in dramatic fashion. As we welcome you to a special Saturday night edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. I'm sure everyone is busy watching the overtime as the Broncos all of a sudden they're close to midfield. They're taking on the Bills. Um, what a game that has been. It's just been a great day of sports all around. I'm joined by Marcus Walsh and Kevin Libby making a guest host appearance here tonight. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Just getting ready for our call of Bluffton at Buford on Tuesday, doing a bit of organizing of materials and getting some stats together and whatnot to send to Kevin and Larry, which I've been doing today. Joe Keith is going to join us as well the next 3 Tuesdays. Doing that, watching the football, and certainly I had some great action that I was scouting between May River and Buford. So it's certainly been busy, but I know you guys were very busy today too. And this is your second appearance together today.
Well, I think my first appearance on the call with Kevin in terms of broadcasting the game.
Right.
But yeah, what a day at the Cove. Two tremendous wins. Start off with the women taking a 68-64 decision over North Georgia in a game where they really had to fight hard for it. This is a women's team that is, like I said in the broadcast, this seems to be their breakthrough year. And, taking down the top team in Peach Belt Conference play. And, I mean, they had to battle tooth and nail for it. But, it was back and forth. They were right in this ball game throughout. And then, Janiah Hayward hit the big shot for three with under 3 minutes to go or so. Actually, she had a couple of shots, but she hit the three with under a minute to play, about 44 seconds left. And then, the Sand Sharks had to turn to Tania Bowman, who was sensational all game. And she was able to ice it away with a couple of big-time free throws. They win at 68-64. And, as we said in the broadcast, it was Janiah and Tania who, they combined for 51 of USCB's 68 points.
Wow.
Tania with 26 and Janiah with 25. So those two, I mean, just unstoppable. And how about Tania Bowman? 10 for 10 from the free throw line. That is phenomenal.
It's outstanding.
Wes, I'm looking at the same stat sheet that you are. What a game it was. I mean, those two were so fun to watch, not just because of what they did in the stat book, but because of how fun they had. They were just such a fun watch, Wes. You know this from being there. That sideline was up. There was adversity in that game. There was a lot of physicality in that game. And it was those two that led the way, not just in scoring, but in terms of getting the personalities right in a game that was in a lot of ways, it was a rock fight.
Sometimes in sports, you talk about the team that has the most, it's all about having fun. The team that can handle their emotions, but also have fun out there is a team that normally wins. And I kind of think that was the case with that USCB team. They were having fun. I think a lot of that goes with the culture that is established by Sharon Versip and Brady Grogan as well, the assistant coach, and the entire staff they do a fantastic job all the time, especially this season. But man, I mean, it goes back to those two. But don't forget Sammy Bodanero. She was tremendous in this game. Hit a big three. Those points are very important. And Gattosi, talk about her. Excuse me.
She struggled. She was 1 for 12.
She was 1 for 12. They still get the win. I mean, yeah, Gattosi, she certainly not the best game for her, but she was able to make a couple plays throughout, and her team stepped up. And that's, tell you what, beating the number one team and Lydia Gattosi goes 1 for 12 and you still win. Like it's
impressive.
Insane.
Definitely impressive.
I thought it was a coming out party for Jada Young. Jada was a +8 in the plus minus. I think if you can have her and Hayward control the post, you can get a lot more dynamic. They were a lot faster with that group on the floor, and I think that was one of the bigger components to their success offensively, having a little bit of a smaller lineup, but also the ability to run, and the defense tonight was incredible.
Yeah, Pelot was fantastic. I'm glad you brought up defense because we talked about that a lot on the broadcast. North Georgia came in this game. I believe they were the best three-point shooting team in the conference. They go 3 for 19 from 3-point range. Avery Jones 0 for 6 from 3. Hannah Kale made 2 of them, but like the top shooters, the top scorers for North Georgia really held in check. And I'll tell you what, that is what I think Coach Versa has to be the most excited about is the defense. We talk all the time about, well, can you find a way to put points on the board? Can you find a way to prove yourselves offensively? Tell you what, if you can play good defense, you have a good chance of winning a lot of games in this league. It comes down so often to which team can deliver defensively, and credit to USCB and how they play on the end of the floor, because I think it sometimes goes forgotten just how well or how important playing winning defense is to winning basketball games.
That certainly goes with a bunch of levels of basketball for sure. But with
High
USCB, with USCB, no doubt, it's been a while since I've gotten to the gym.
Yep.
I've made an executive decision that I'm going to go to the primetime matchups on February 21st, which should be the final home games for USCB of the regular season. Seeing Clayton State. That's when I'm going to get out there. I'll have everything out of the way for WHHI basketball coverage for our season, and so made that decision. Looking forward to seeing you guys there that night.
Yeah, lots of great games. Of course, I'm thinking about the the big one coming up next week. I believe is this Friday Bluffton May River? I believe it is.
We've got
round
that's
2
next week. Yeah.
Yeah, the whatever date.
I think
this Friday
actually
is,
now that I think about it, sorry to cut you off, Wes. I think next Friday is or you said Bluffton May River. I'm sorry.
I can check.
I may
can
go to the
confirm
Buford
that
Hilton
one.
Head matchup
Let's see.
next Friday.
Oh, I think no, it is May River Bluffton at Bluffton on Friday. Yep.
Okay.
So obviously that's the big game. You got Buford Hilton Head, which would be interesting.
That's what I'm planning to go see
Okay.
with Javon on the call supposedly, and may try to get Jeff Riley out there too.
Pick that game over May River Bluffton.
That's just what I saw on
Okay.
on BCT
And
Broad Buford Zone.
When's the next WHHI game?
That is, as I mentioned, that's Tuesday. We've got Bluffton at Buford, and that's why I went to the May River Buford games yesterday.
That would make a ton of sense, right? Because
right, I hadn't seen any May River, or I'm sorry, I hadn't seen any of Buford, and I saw 1/4 of the May River guys, so I had to go out and see those 4 teams, and it was mighty interesting. Couple of huge wins, not the cleanest, but a couple of huge wins for Buford, especially for the guys, as they got it done 64-62, right down to the wire. And the Buford girls, while they didn't play clean, for sure, they got a huge win in their matchup by 30, 62-32. And so Buford's on a good streak. Obviously, we saw Bluffton last week against Hilton Head Prep. And it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams match up this year, because the Buford guys definitely down, only have 2 wins on the year, and the Buford girls are outstanding.
Buford had a big win on Friday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Against May River, by 30. Against 62-32, the final there.
Denver Broncos are headed to the championship game. It's another postseason heartbreak again for the Buffalo Bills as they fall 33-30. What a disastrous couple of, not disasters, but just in the playoffs. Just heartbreaking for the Bills.
Can't get the monkey off their back.
They don't. It's a year where Kansas City missed the playoffs. The year where Kansas City Chiefs missed the playoffs, and yet they still can't get it done as they fall to a gritty Denver team. And credit to Bo Nix. That guy proved himself in a big way. Put on that game-winning drive, and then Denver's defense. I think you have to really tip your hat to Denver's defense, because they can big stop in overtime where the Bills, all they do is go down and kick a field goal, and that interception. That's the play of the game right there. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who picked it off, but Brandon Cooks had it in his grasp, and then Man, it's going to be another one of those photos of heartbreak for Buffalo.
Right. And Buffalo didn't have to deal with Baltimore, and they didn't have to deal with Kansas City.
Yeah.
They didn't have to deal with Cincinnati either. So this was their year, and they still couldn't get it done.
Wouldn't you know? Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So the Broncos will host either New England or Houston in the AFC Championship, and yeah, that is stunning. I mean, not that they won there, the 1 seed, but just the fact that Buffalo, it just felt like they had the opportunity to get it done, and
Yep.
yeah, that hurts. But there you go. Yeah, so we talked about the USCB women getting it done 68-64, knocking off the number 1 seed, as I or the number 1 team in the Peach Belt Conference. And so they're looking pretty good right now in the standings. 7-3. They're a half game behind Columbus State right now, who's now in first place. They're actually Columbus State and North Georgia tied for first. USCB is a half game out of first place. How about that? I mean, this women's team is on an unbelievable start to the season, and we just talked about, okay, if they can stay healthy, and then, they've been able to so far. And not only that, but man, I mean, just incredible play collectively. And then these, the core of this team starting to step up. They are really, they're looking the part. So that's fun. But man, we had another one after that. And boy, what a finish as the Sand Shark men come through and knock off the North Georgia Nighthawks in dramatic fashion. Really, it didn't think it was going to be dramatic at all until Hudson Norton missed that front end of the 1-1 free throw, as we will see right here as I pull up. I gotta pull it up again. Share my screen as we look back on the conclusion of this game. Give me 1 second. I thought I had it up. Give me 1 second.
I love Huddy. Huddy's my favorite player. I think he has style and grace.
He's great, and he was tremendous. But as you will see momentarily as I pull it up, it really was a terrific effort by a couple of guys. Just had it up for a second, and then it shut off for some reason. I'm not sure why. But
While you're doing that, I've got a question for you, Wes, because I've done this as well. What was it like doing play-by-play with Tony Red Bruin by your side?
Love it. He's great. He's fantastic.
He's outstanding. He's I did some USCB hoops with him, and then certainly some high school basketball with him filling in for the Libs. He's absolutely terrific.
He gave me a big hug today. He's a good hugger.
He's a great hugger. For sure.
Colin is here as well. Up. All right.
People forget. I mean, Red Bruin was the man when he was at Syracuse. He played against Patrick Ewing. The pictures are of him dunking.
Is that the girls' game I have? No, it's not. Or is it? Okay, no, never mind. Nick, Kevin, you were talking. I thought that was you on the broadcast. I'm sorry.
It's all good, brother. I was just bragging about Red Bruin. He's an all-timer. And
okay, so here we go.
And it's no good. We got a 3-point game, 18 seconds to go. And the shot is up and good.
So North Georgia ties it with a 3.
We're all even at 7-5.
And here comes
Kilminster. He dishes off, and it's Dominic Eason with the layup. North Georgia down the other end. That layup is no good. And the Sand Sharks win a thriller. 77-75. What a ball game.
How about that? USCB survives what would have been a tough one to take if they lost it. But man, once again, Kilminster, but this time it was a pass to find Dominic Eason right in the corner for that layup. And man, what a clutch player he continues to be. I mean, he did it all. And that was a gutsy win after, Hudson Norton missed a free throw. North Georgia battled that a couple of times. They hit a 3 earlier. But actually, they hit a 3, then went back to the line, and then they had a 3-point play. And then Hudson went to the line, he missed, and then North Georgia found a way to tie it. And then, of course, Easton was able to go up to put him up ahead and then that great stop defensively at the end. But this team just knows how to find ways to win ball games. I mean, that was as impressive as they come, and just in terms of resetting after you miss a free throw, after you give up that three, you go right back to what you do well, and you put the ball in the hands of your best player, which is what they did. Even though he didn't take the shot, his presence allowed him to find Eason for the game-winning layup.
Special players make special plays in the special moments.
Right.
Quoting my buddy and football partner Daniel Court on that. And that's what these guys do for sure. And Kevin, I bet you've seen a little bit more of them certainly than I have so far this year. But from my time in the gym, both calling games and just being a fan, it's a special environment with Ronnie Funball for sure.
Yeah.
And that's just it. The level. I mean, Wes, I just want to celebrate you. The level of intensity in that place gets so hyped. The Cove is absolutely on fire with that style of basketball. And Wes, hearing you call it, you were absolutely, a reflection of the energy that gets into that place. I liked hearing you getting some hype on your voice. It sounded great.
Well, I mean, you just feed off the energy in the building. That's the students made all the difference. They were hyped from the start, and that's what sets it up for for yourself, for myself to call the game. And just awesome to have the students back on the beside the court. I'm sorry, been a long day, but yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to see the level of play that this USCB team has been able to put together. They are right now, if you look at the standings on the men's side of things, they are also a game or they're a half game behind first place. Landers 7-2, St. Gertrude 7-3, Georgia College in third at 6-3, and this was a big win for North Georgia that drops them to 5-4. I mean, when you look at this USCB team, look at both these teams, we could easily see both teams hosting a first round game if this continues. Two just big time statement wins by both this men's and this women's team. But going back to the men's game, I mean, it was kind of a story of two halves. USCB went up by as much as 16. Dylan Lewis was 3 for 3 in the first half, shooting the three ball, couldn't miss. You saw their players make big time shots, but then the second half, it was Eason's time. Eason took over. You saw Rashid make some big shots, and others stepped in as well. And, that's great to see, and especially Evan Cohen's only 9 points, but came up with a big play, 6 assists. I mean, that's sometimes as valuable to a coach as putting up 20, 25 points. Those were important assists, and of course, the last one was obviously the biggest that he assisted on. But I mean, that is a player that has just taken this team. Well, I mean, they were great last year. Obviously, at Alejandro Lot and others, but Cohen's been the guy this year, and he's gonna be that spark plug they need as the season goes along.
He's been that so far from the reports that we're getting, and you guys obviously have seen it. Can't wait to see him in action. Like I said, at the end of February when I get out there, special things are on the horizon. We know that from what the guys did a year ago, but the ladies just keep on doing what they're doing as well.
That's been awesome to see. And I mean, don't forget, like this women's team has been competitive, and they came close to a couple of big games. This was undoubtedly the biggest win they've had in their program. If you think about it. I mean, they've had some good wins.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Knocking off the number one team in the conference, that doesn't get much bigger than that in terms of regular season wins. So I think you gotta give that one to the women. But I mean, just an incredible atmosphere in the Cove all day long, and I mean, this Ronnie Funball team, they just know how to win. I mean, they know how to win close games, and that's half the battle, even more of it, because especially this conference, because these games are just. I mean, they're always so close. They come down to 1-2 possessions, like every time. It seems, at least. And,
everything that happens in the first half matters in the second half. You see it in the outcome of the game. But what's sweeter than a peach belt sweep?
Nothing, of course.
2 scoops, as JJ says.
Yeah.
2 scoops ahead.
Yeah, so both teams, I believe, are a game back first place in their conferences. So pretty exciting stuff. The men have a Monday afternoon special. They take on who they play? Oh yeah, Fayetteville State. Fayetteville State. That is a Monday game, noon tip off. So a Monday matinee special over there in the Cove, and then both teams will take on, of course, their rivals from up north, the Pacers of USC Aiken. And remember, we talked about this on air just for a second, but you remember on the women's side,
Sammy
Bardnero, former Pacers. So that should be pretty fun to see her go up against her former team.
Fayetteville, is that a team out of Georgia or Arkansas? I'm assuming Georgia. Right?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Fayetteville, isn't that where the Razorbacks play? Or University of
In Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Kevin says North Carolina, which maybe that's what I was thinking of. I don't know if there's a Fayetteville, Georgia.
I got the Google.
Okay.
You guys want to hear a dad joke?
I'm always in the mood for a dad joke.
Yeah.
Literally, I was driving from home here to Boston, and I stopped in Fayetteville at like 12 at night at a Subway, 24-hour Subway. Guys outside ripping a heater, cigarette. I'm like, take your time, man. I'll still gotta figure out what I want to get. So, dude comes in. I order a sandwich. He asks me, "All right, man, you want to taste it?" I'm like, "It's good, dude. I'll taste it when it's ready." And he's like, "No, man, you want that thing toasted." You hearing it? He's asking me if I wanted to put it in the toaster. But shout out to that dude and Fayetteville for having a real thing accent. I'm pretty sure that's in North Carolina.
Yes, and I was going to say that is correct. It's in North Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I believe it's an HBCU. If I'm looking, I think that's what it's saying.
Fayetteville State,
Berkeley Black College University. I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
According to the AI overview.
Yeah, yep. It is. So cool. So we'll see that one Monday afternoon. Non-conference game between USCB and Fayetteville States coming up on Monday, and then of course USC Aiken comes your way Saturday. So a lot of excitement, and man, I can't be more excited about both these teams right now. What a start for both Ron Fudala and Sharon Versup's teams in year 3. Year 3 seems to be the big year.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a bunch for a lot of different programs. It's the year that, according to Lou Holtz and Hayden Gregory, who I heard this from, it's the year that you learn the most about your team.
Right.
And so definitely seeing that with USCB for sure.
Indeed. Yeah, looking forward to seeing both those teams continue their journeys this year, but just great to be on the call with both with Kevin Libby for the women's game and Tony Red Bruin for the guys game, and he's always fun to work alongside with as well.
Yes,
for sure. Got stories.
He's got stories for days.
Yeah.
Any
we have much time to tell stories because the game was too good here today.
Right.
So,
any update from Justin about what's going on with him today? I know he was out on the road.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's happening, but some cool things involving his son Truman Jarret, as I will say right now. So he's coaching wrestling at so one of the kids from Hardyville qualified for state. He finished second, but
nice.
Truman Jarret. He is in the consolation semis. And he is trying to clinch his state spots. I believe how it works is that I think if you can make it through the consolation bracket, you can also qualify. It's cool because it gives you a second chance. If you lose and end up in the consolation bracket, you get another opportunity to qualify, which I think is pretty cool.
Absolutely, True Dog putting in the work.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I'm looking forward to hearing an update when we get one if he's able to qualify. Max Max Arraj couldn't join us. He said he did not like the official.
Right.
But there were, there's always in the game there are always calls that can go in favor of one team in favor of the other, and normally that balances out. And that's the they proved that they were.
Oh boy, we've lost Wes.
I'm not as. What? Did you lose me? No,
You're cutting in and out a bunch.
I'm right here.
You are now.
Okay, yeah. Am I back? All right. I was going to say that the Broncos. Yeah. I was going to say it was that the Broncos are a team that I despise because Carolina lost to them in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when Peyton Manning was there. So that's why I'm not a big fan. The Bills were really like the last team I really wanted to see. Although I don't know. I just don't like Houston sports as a whole, just because of the Astros. I've never really liked the Astros, so
yeah.
Because of that, I don't like the Rockets. I don't like the Texans, so I don't know. Bills were the AFC team I wanted to see make it, and now that's not going to happen. So that's the way it normally goes, though. But
plenty of room in the Patriots bandwagon, man. Come on board, Drake May.
I think it would be a good story to see Drake
very
May
good.
and New England get there. They could very well could. Could be it'll be funny because Patriots and Broncos, it makes me think of Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady because they played a couple of times against each other. Now you could have Bo Nix against Drake May.
that would be fun, and I think that's what we're gonna see. 7-0 Seattle over San Fran in the NFC
I think
second game, the second game of the NFC matchup
I think
today.
Seattle will win that game. I don't see San Francisco winning that game, but we'll see. Seattle just looks they have a step ahead of them. They're just playing some great ball. But
one other quick thing that I want to mention, sorry to cut in, is that there was some high school hoops going on today.
Yes, I was going
Whale Branch and Ridgeland were in action.
I'm going to get to high school basketball next, but I was about to shout out some sponsors, so let's do that right now. All-star sponsors: Nick Nicholson Law Firm, original sponsor. Official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor by Hilton Christian Academy Coverage. You can call Nicholson Law Firm for all your legal needs. And then WHHI TV, our great partners in local sports journalism, and the only television station devoted exclusively to covering the Lowcountry. Keep up with the latest news on WHHI TV. They're available through Spectrum and Hargray or streaming online at WHHITV.com.
As well as Apple TV, Roku, and a few other places to stream as well.
Yeah, you guys have them covered, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's talk some high school basketball. A busy night last night, especially, and more of the same for Bluffton's boys. 63-40 over Bishop England. Beaufort's with the stunner though of the night, 64-62. They knock off May River and hand the Sharks their first loss of the season.
Yeah, and like I said, I was there. And it was just back and forth, really physical action for sure. And it was like an all cage match. It really kind of reminded me of definitely a grudge match like in wrestling or something because it was so physical. Bunch of shots were going down. May River was really struggling at the outset, but when they got into the second half and the fourth quarter on the guys' side of things, they really worked their way back in and made it really interesting for sure. KJ Ford had himself a great ball game. Cody Ingersoll played tough. I really like what I see out of Luke Tran, the junior wing player. Those guys especially really played great basketball. And I mean, on the other side, Kobe Hernandez, Willis Watson, Kwalik Isnar. I forgot how tall Kwalik is. He is a giant on the basketball floor. Those guys, Lehman was hitting threes all night long. Jason Prayer is doing a great job in a bunch of roles. Percival Davis, I guess he's called by PJ now. He did a great job as well. And just for Buford to be able to hang on in a season where they're really struggling. That was just their second win of the year. It's a huge win. And I mentioned it to Kevin and Larry today in some notes that I was sending their way, certainly as we look forward to Bluffton at Buford on Tuesday night on WHHI with the girls and the guys. This could be a season turnaround type of win that Buford had last night against May River on the guys' side of things. Region play is important, and despite that record, they're 1-2 in region play. And if they can keep that momentum going from a very hard fought win, who knows where they end up?
Well, the cool thing about it is that it's a new season. Once you get the region play, it's a new season,
Yeah.
and it's if you can find a way to get hot and get a couple of wins, you never know. And but right now, Bluffton's the team to beat. Bluffton is sitting pretty 3-0. They're the only unbeaten team in region right now. Bishop England just lost to them, and it looks like Bluffton's going to be the team to beat this year. And it was not a dominant, but a convincing 15-point win against a pretty good Bishop England team. And Bluffton's got they've got a bunch of guys that can hurt you. Harry Skinner has really taken over in a big way, even more so than what we've seen, because he's just been a much more complete player for them recently. But you got guys like Luke Karen, who has really stepped up, Isaiah Gadsden, and others who they just find a way to make big plays. They have a bunch of guys, even without a Carnell Warren or Aiden McCarthy. You got guys who can step up and
Ethan Foster too is a guy that can just drain it.
Malcolm Gordon. Some I don't know, for some reason these max preps numbers don't compute. They're all different, and they need to fix this roster. The numbers aren't correct, I don't think.
Yeah, Malcolm Gordon was showing up as
you're talking.
30.
Yeah, because it says Harry Skinner's number 1. So he's obviously number 10.
Yeah,
right.
This roster is completely incorrect. So
it is. I'm going to fill you in on that, Wes, because I've talked to Coach Gabriel about this. Saw him a bunch during the tournament in Bluffton, and with the maneuvering of players, he had some guys out, and certainly with the situation with the two guys who are no longer playing on the team, numbers were switched. So in terms of uniform numbers, yeah, they're a little bit funky. Larry Jacomot said the same thing to me when we were at Hilton Head Prep, and I said, yeah, it's weird, but I talked to Bradley about it, and it's an interesting situation with some of the switches that he's made and whatnot.
I think
I agree. It's definitely
building.
Strange. What's that?
I think, Marcus, to your point, I think with some of the volatility they had in the roster, even though we're into region play, there's still chemistry building on this team. They're still feeling each other out.
Yeah.
I think I was surprised. Malcolm Gordon was our MVP when we called the Bluffton versus Hilton Head Prep game. I was expecting it to be Harry, but to your earlier point, there is more, emergence coming out from what were formerly role players on Bluffton into what is developing into a chemistry that at 3-0 looks like the dominant team in basketball right now. Yep. Marcus, while we have you, I wanted you to talk about the entertainment value of watching Coach Huff get Buford's second win.
I mean, he was as animated and fired up as I've ever seen him. And I mean, I've been calling Buford games as long as he's been there, even before he got there. And I mean, he was just so into it for sure. A lot of that is because of the last couple of years being a little bit of a struggle. And I talked to Jimmy Searson and just talking to him through it, because he sees this team every game, every day. It's been an interesting start for Buford, certainly in the last couple of years. Haven't been quite what people are used to seeing, but don't sleep on them. They can get back into this thing, and they can definitely play spoiler. They really opened up my eyes yesterday, especially with how they competed there at the end with May River with the feverish comeback. Everybody's talking about May River, who all of a sudden has dropped a couple of games, possibly being the best team in this region for the guys. I give a slight edge to Buford, to Bluffton at the moment, but these Buford Eagles, they are going to scrap and claw and make some things happen, and they
It's
have a
noise.
great environment there at Kirkland Court.
Jeremy Huff is a fantastic coach. They have one of the best
He
fan
is.
bases in the region, and it just if they can get hot, they're gonna be a tough team. They're gonna be a tough team. They've been
He
they had
he
a
and
down
Reggie
year last
both are
year.
great.
Sorry.
He and Reggie both are terrific.
Oh yes,
Or-
Reggie Jones. How about that
That's
girls
cool.
team as well?
Oh,
Yeah, they've been fantastic. Yeah, this Buford team has potential to really sneak up on some guys, but obviously the telling sign will be how they do against like Bishop England, Bluffton, but beating May River, a team that was undefeated until this point, and now they get Bluffton right away. So it's like you got to go up against the Bobcats. Now if you can show you're for real, then go back and do it again, or go back and beat Bluffton
right.
on Tuesday. That's gonna be the big test for them.
It will be indeed. Looking forward to bringing it to you.
Oh man, you got yourself a good one. I'm definitely be keeping track on how that one goes. And where can you stream that game live? Is there a way to stream that game live, or is it just tape delayed?
We are not doing games live for basketball.
Okay.
They are replayed every night
Okay.
at midnight, with the premiere happening during our WHHI TV weekend
There you go.
sports blocks from 4 to 7 p.m.
Awesome.
And like I said, YouTube, Apple, Roku,
Yep.
etc.
There's a bunch of
The website
times where you can-
WHHITV.com.
a bunch of times where you can watch those games. They come on a lot during the day. So
Yep.
Awesome.
I like the app. I think they're fun to watch on the app.
I watched both of our first two broadcasts on YouTube the last couple of days as well. It's just a little bit more convenient with the fact that we're busy doing stuff and,
Right.
having they're at the palm of your hand.
Yep.
Certainly works.
I always get bummed out because I catch my errors. Like I called Takoya Hayward the wrong name, and then Wes, I was scrubbing ours. I confused Janaya and Tanaya like twice.
Janaya Hayward, not Takoya. Wrong. First, you got the right last name, but not the right first name. Yeah. But we definitely. It's weird to not have Takoya Hayward on Bluff anymore. She was there for like 5 years, so it's.
We'll definitely shout her out on Tuesday, for sure. She's having a great career in college.
No doubt. Definitely excited to continue to keep an eye on her and what she has done. Now let's go through a couple more scores that I haven't mentioned. On the boys' side, Battery Creek, another big win. They're reaching 50-45 over Hanahan. These are boys' scores. Hampton County 74, Whale Branch 36. Hurricanes dominant there. Trinity Collegiate falls with JP2 60-44. Nice win for the Golden Warriors. And then Cross 71, THA 50. Those are your guys' scores. And then the girls, your girls' results. Bishop England over Bluffton 53-41. Bobcats respectable, kept it close in that game. Buford all over May River 62-32. Man, this Eagles team on the girls' side, they're looking legit.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were up 20-7 when I got there, and it was, I think, 22-7 either at the end of the first quarter or the beginning of the second quarter. And I mean, they were up and up big, really holding the May River Sharks down. For years I was all about Dalton and Elizabeth Duncan, and now you got Davis taking over for Dalton. Duncan's still on the team as a junior, and a couple other girls really trying to make some things happen. It's going to be interesting to see what May River does on the girls' side the next couple of weeks. We'll see them against Hilton Head on February 3rd at the Nest on WHHI TV. Going to definitely be interesting to see what May River does the next couple of weeks before we see them again.
Well, I'm interested to see how that May River men's team bounces back after losing that first, because it really tells how built and ready a team is, depending on like what happens after you drop one like that. Like what will they do afterwards? So I'm excited to see what May River does from here, because you got bounce back. You got some big ones, including that Bluffton game where you can try to, the region title is still in front of you. If you're May River, just gotta find a way to beat Bluffton, and then you'll be right back in the mix. So I'm excited to see how May River responds after dropping that unexpected. Kind of, but I think everyone would have picked May River to win that game. But that's what we said. This region is unpredictable. Crazy things can happen. And, that's the cool thing about these region games, because you really do never know. You really do never know what will happen. That's the fun of it. But yeah, I think Beaufort girls, they are looking legit. They are going to be a team to watch, not just in this region, but I think in 4A as a whole, because they've proved they can beat teams by a decent margin here in this region, and I think that they're going to be in the mix in the lower state.
I got to take. Yeah, I'm
Go
sorry to
for it.
interrupt you, Wes. Just I want to build on what you're saying about that Beaufort team. I think the Beaufort girls team, more than any other team in our area, might be a state champion this year.
I honestly agree with you.
Well, I think Hampton County's boys have a solid chance, and I think that Battery
That's
Creek
true.
boys team is also going to be interesting to watch as well. But I think Beaufort girls, the way they've been dominant region, you might be right, but I think the Hampton County boys team is going to be one to watch.
I just like stars and star power, and when I look at what they have Myra Brown, who's a junior underclassman. They have Janiah Hayward is a captain now in her sophomore year. They have Zaria Coaxum. Those two last that I mentioned are
Janiah Hayward.
Janiah. That's what they have on the Beaufort roster. Is it Jania? She goes by Jania, doesn't she?
Oh, there's another Janiah, or is it? Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that.
I think she goes by Jania. I gotta catch up. I'm over my skis.
No, you're right. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. So that's.
And then
cool.
Marcus loves this name. There's Delia Laborde, and
Laborde. That's a great basketball.
It's a great basketball name, but all these players, like the two I just mentioned, Jania and Zaria, were our MVPs calling two separate Beaufort games last year. They're back.
That's right.
They're joined by Myra Brown was one of the best players in Bluffton last year. She was a star in her own right. And again, Laborde stepped up. And they have Zanaya Reynolds Morgan, who's a senior this year. Excellent point guard. They have
Don't forget about Faith Owens either, because she can just knock down, even with size, she can knock down threes, make some big plays.
Carson Crosby's a captain. I mean, Erin Crosby is a sophomore. She can shoot the ball. Zion Patrick is on this team. Like, they have a lot of effort. Faith Owens is a big name, though. You're right, because Faith can spread the floor.
Yes, she can.
They're loaded. And I know that coming out of Hardyville's 1A, right? So they're going to be playing a lower competition level. I know that 4A is hard to win, but I'm telling you, this Beaufort team is as deep as any team I've seen since I've been calling games with Marcus.
They're certainly deep for sure. Really looking forward to Tuesday.
Oh, it's gonna be a ton of fun. I cannot wait. I am pumped to see it. So looking forward to seeing some more hoops, a lot more games coming up to be excited about. Some more scores. Battery Creek falls to Hanahan 53. These are girls games. Hanahan 51, Battery Creek 43, Lake Marion 68-34 over Bridges Prep, and then JP2 blowing out Trinity Collegiate 63-27. That JP2 girls team.
How about it?
Yeah.
And so we've got Bluffton at Beaufort this week upcoming. The following week, we've got HHCA at JP2, which I'm also very excited about seeing the JP2 girls and guys on the 27th.
Is going to be the big time favorites.
Going to be rocking at JP2.
It will be. Hillnet Prep beats Hillnet Christian Academy 36-28. Good for the Dolphins. I'll tell you what, it's been crazy to see. I mean, this HHCA team used to be cream of the crop every year, but they've gone through some rebuilding times over there. And then some scores from tonight that we have seen. On the girls' side, Whale Branch girls beating Ridgeland 28-17. And the Whale Branch boys won by 1 point, 57-56.
Oh, that game finished up. I was talking
Yeah,
to Zaire, and he said it was starting about 7
yeah, they
o'clock.
just
So yeah,
wrapped
I
it up.
guess it's about
57-56 win for the Whale Branch boys.
good for them.
And yeah, hard fought win over there. So good to see that for the Warriors. That's a program that has had, especially a couple of years back, the Whale Branch girls were very good a couple of years, and then Whale Branch boys, of course, with Nick Pringle, and they had a couple of really good years there. But good to see that Whale Branch. Is Jeremiah Faber still coaching that team?
Should be.
I believe so.
Should definitely be.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's still there, doing the coaching for the Warriors. But yeah, those are the high school hoop scores. We kind of went over it, but we got some big games on Tuesday, including the WHHI game of the week. Bluffton at Beaufort's, 6 o'clock for the girls, 7:30 for the boys. We got May River Colleton. Tell you what, that boys game, don't sleep on Colleton. That's always screams
Right.
trap game.
You're right.
Always screams trap game when teams are going to Colleton. That's not an easy one. That's not an easy one. May River's gonna have to bounce back quickly. We got I guess Hilton heads off because I guess they had an extra game or something, but they don't play on Tuesday unless I missed it or something.
That could be because a couple of these teams that I'm noticing through the playoff or the holiday tournaments and whatnot that I've watched, they've been playing a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of the teams have a normal day where a bunch of games are being played. In the case of this being Tuesday, wouldn't shock me if a couple of teams are off.
Okay.
Just a heads
There
up,
you
the Seahawks are
yeah.
up 10.
So checking schedule right now.
Indeed.
Yeah, they're on it. They don't play until Friday. Actually, yeah, they're
Right.
hosting Buford on Friday. So yeah,
And I plan to scout
they get
that
Tuesday
game,
off.
possibly. Check
Yes,
that out.
so
Get another look
Friday
at
night,
Hilton.
Buford. Battery Creek hosting North Charleston. Hampton taking on Bridges. Hampton should be the favorite there. Whale Branch hosting Barnwell in a big game in that region. Ridgeland hosting Bamberg Earhart, and then Hilton at Prep and Cross. I believe JP2 his boys are at Camden Military on Tuesday.
I saw
That's,
that.
I think is correct. And then a little you got a couple of standalone or a couple of other games on Wednesday. May Rivers at Whale Branch, and then JP2's at Hilton at Prep. So a couple of games on Wednesday as well. But yeah, we're getting into it. We're these are getting exciting, especially those 4A regions are getting exciting. I think Buford girls should be pretty favored in that game, but the boys game should be fantastic, especially after what Buford did against May River. So I'm excited to see what happens there, and of course the big one, Bluffton May River, coming up on Friday night at the Den.
It's a
Touchdown
amazing
Seahawks.
time of year.
Wow, Seattle is pouring it on over San Francisco.
17-0.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Final sponsors, then we'll do our parting thoughts and call it a day. Hudson Seafood House in the Docks. Welcome to the Loco Booster Club. Great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on the island. There's a presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. New episodes every Tuesday, or I think we might do Thursday this week. I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion on that Denver Buffalo game. Maybe some on the officiating, but mostly just about how Buffalo blew their chance and about maybe Bo Nix is the guy. We'll see.
I think there might be some New York Giant discussion because I think one of the three guys that is on that show is a big-time Giant fan, if I'm not mistaken. That would be one Rich Jericho.
There could be some Giants news because they're looking for their guy. They're looking for their coach. Right?
They found him.
They found him. Was this today? Did I miss something?
It was finalized today. They were talking last week, or excuse me, yesterday and even Thursday, that they were really high on somebody, and they ended up inking things up this afternoon. Breaking news: it's John Harbaugh going to the New York Giants.
That'll be some kind of a job for John Harbaugh. I mean,
no kidding.
He's been through a lot. He of course he was at San Diego or LA with the Chargers, won a national championship a couple years ago with Michigan.
Not Jim. Wes, John from
John,
Baltimore.
I'm sorry. What am I doing? Hey,
Yeah, not
sorry,
Jim.
I called 2 basketball games. I'm
You're good, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm good. But yeah,
You're all good.
yes, John Harbaugh, the former Ravens head coach, not Jim
Yes.
Harbaugh. He's still in LA for now. But yeah, John, obviously tremendous coach. I've always respected him as a great coach because he had
I
a
have to.
couple of and he always seems like his Ravens teams were always in contention. So I was still pretty surprised that the Ravens let him go even after one bad or poor season compared to some of the others, and they really should have made the playoffs, but the kicker missed a field goal, and they had some injuries as well. So I think that's a really solid hire for New York. I think.
Yep.
I mean, I think this is the opportunity for Jackson Dart to become the guy with a great head coach. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yes, Richard will certainly be talking about that, about the G-Men on Thursday's show. Our other sponsors, our new sponsor, Twin Twombly, personal injury attorneys, HHI Windows and Doors, Coach Billy Barron, improving your view of the Lowcountry. Revenant's Wrestling Club is the official wrestling sponsor and the presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind, coming tomorrow night, every Sunday night. And then Jay's Barbershop, place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. So we'll let Kevin Libby get the first crack at the parting thoughts here tonight.
I love the hoop season, man. It's good to be back. Just extremely excited to be, back on some calls. There's nothing better than getting into these gymnasiums. It's cold outside. This weather is bullocks, but we get through it together by enjoying the greatest game on earth. It's my favorite sport. I absolutely love being back on these calls. I just want to share how good it feels to be in gymnasiums, sitting next to my guys. I love being back with you guys. For our purposes, it's the start of what's really our season. So just trying to get those good vibes going, man.
Yeah, could not agree more.
No doubt. Go ahead. I'm trying to pull something up. So is that all you have, Kevin, or if there's anything else?
My parting thought is just that I'm happy to be with you boys.
Heck yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Likewise.
All right, Marcus,
always.
go ahead and put some in the process of pulling something up, so take your time.
Yeah, okay. I tell you what, I'm really excited to see a couple of young quarterbacks out of the AFC, no matter who ends up winning that game tomorrow between Houston and New England. I really do think it will be New England. I think their defense really impressed me a lot, especially down the stretch. I think Denver's defense is their calling card as well. So if that ends up being the matchup, it could be really interesting to see Bo Nix go up against Drake May, two quarterbacks that I happen to be very fond of.
I am very excited to see how Denver's defense will do against Drake May, because they were pretty impressive against Pittsburgh, and I think that Houston defense is for real. I think that although Houston, I'm sure they wanted the Bills to win because then they would have the chance to host the AFC title game, but now they'll have to go to Denver. So,
yeah, and in the NFC, it looks like Seattle's well on their way, and it's not even the end of the first quarter yet.
Yeah, so that would mean both the AFC and NFC title games will be hosted by the 1 seeds. If this holds up.
I would love to see Chicago edge the Rams and knock them off because of the way they play at home and certainly their defense, but I just think it's too much Matthew Stafford and company. I like the Rams to get that win tomorrow, and I do like the Pats over Houston. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens, with the rest of this game, and then certainly the 2 games tomorrow.
I really do think that the Texans have a chance to, but then again, watching the Patriots, how effortless they showed that they were that first game, in that wild card game. I think Drake May Broncos and Patriots. Drake May against Bo Nix championship game. Oh, what just happened? Oh, I don't know. Kevin, you here?
I can hear you. Yes, sir.
Kevin? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's looking like yes. Yeah, I think it'll be New England and and Denver, but we'll see. We'll see what Houston can do. That's a if the offense can get going, I think they'll have a chance. But I just don't trust
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud in that offense right now against New England's defense. I think that's where we're going to see New England find a way to take over that game. So interesting. Teams that I'll tell you what, teams like 10 years ago, they were always in there, and now it's been a while. Other teams have gotten there, and now it's kind of back to Seattle and Denver and New England, just like it was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
It's funny how it is all kind of
Yeah.
shook up and
Yeah.
shaking out. The parity this year was unlike anything that I had really seen in many years. But it's funny that you mentioned that, Wes, with the way it is working out with those three teams that were huge in the mid 2010s.
Yeah, with
Definitely
Rage of Boom
getting their
defense
way
and
back in.
Peyton Manning Broncos and the Tom Brady Patriots. Yeah, pretty crazy. All right, so I have a fun parting thoughts for my
right.
last one. It's a local story. It involves one of our guys, who we used to cover all the time, and it was kind of when if you remember, it was right when Wade Hampton ended up becoming Hampton County, and this was a guy who we got to see really take center stage near the end of his career, and he got his opportunity. At South Carolina, and now if we can pull up the clip here on the Twitter, we will see right here what happened. So this is for our guy, Jamie Risher, Shane Beamer, on the surprise.
Year 4 is what he's starting, but unlike year 1, year 2, and year 3, he won't be paid to come.
You're on Scully, buddy. How about that?
It's awesome.
Well, I love that's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things about college football. Those are great.
Yeah, for guys that work so hard to be able to finally get a scholarship, it's absolutely incredible.
Yep.
You put in the blood, sweat, and tears every day, as much as you can. In the weight room, working with the team, let alone as a student athlete, and to see it pay off, nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching him for Wade Hampton, trained in Hampton County, and he just had the potential, and now he's on scholarship at South Carolina. So that's it's pretty cool. Love to see that for former Loco kids making it big at college, and hope to see a lot more coming up there very soon. But that'll wrap it up here for tonight. We thank Kevin, thank Marcus Walsh for coming on. We thank our sponsors, and we'll be back tomorrow night for the basketball happy hour, potentially. I'm pretty sure we're still doing it on Sunday, and then the Loco grind. So stay tuned for all of that. But I'll wrap this up. We'll be back probably either Monday or Tuesday. Not sure. But we'll be back one of those 2 days to talk more local sports news. So for Marcus Walsh and Kevin Libby, I'm Wes Kerr. We thank you for watching here tonight on this busy Loco Saturday, and we will see you next time. So till then, go Loco and have a great night.